Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted, well, I was not planning actually to record certain analysis of the previous game because I thought it was not good enough quality. Well, maybe entertaining, yes, but it's World Championship. I'm sorry. If you want entertainment, at least this is the way I see it. If I want entertainment, I will watch Blitz or Rapid, but this is a classical World Chess Championship, and what I want most from it is the quality. Is the quality also entertainment? Of course, not quick, short, boring draws, but with the quality, and that is what has to be normally provided. Of course, I mean sometimes it doesn't work. But at least some games should be really, really high, like exceptional quality, because of the status of the match. And again, my criticism of the quality of play is not connected with anything personal. I mean, I have absolutely nothing against both players, and I mean, it's just a misjudgment. As actually, the point is that when I'm doing professional comments, I give my name, my expertise, and that is something I would say cultural in a way. Yeah, I just cannot tell nonsense. I mean, I cannot lie to you. I mean, that's what I see. I might be mistaken sometimes, but I cannot purposely tell you that some game was good when it was not good, when it was not on the level. It's just like cultural, because it's my, it's something, chess, what I respect, what I'm rather qualified in, and it's simply a matter of kind of respect of what you do, of your profession. And I understand that majority of people, okay, of course, it's not their fault that they don't know, I mean, chess as professionals. They will just blindly believe almost anything any, well, serious grandmaster, especially world champion, would tell. So I can tell you absolutely anything. You should just be aware of it, and I will make it very convincing, and you will trust me. I mean, as any other strong player. But I mean, it's easy. It's easy. I can maneuver you into whatever I want you to think about this game or this player, this or that player. And, I can assure you, just because of my name, of me being world champion, you will believe me, majority of people. That is why I think, because of this responsibility, I just strictly, trying to tell you the truth. I mean, what I think. Because why are you listening to my comments and not to some, let's say, Danny Rancho or Gotham comments, if you prefer mine? Because of my qualification, because I can tell you probably something which some other, like, YouTubers cannot tell. And that's why it is like there is no other point of, I mean, of watching me or Hikaru or whoever, strong player, if if I will just try to fool you and to tell you something that you like. I mean, there is no point. So I mean, I'm kind of in general getting into general, I would say, matters. I'm really kind of disgusted even how the world of chess nowadays is like mirrored into lies, into sweet lies, when they're telling nonsense just because they know that public would like it. Yeah, because okay, there are a lot of fans of Dink, a lot of fans of Gukesh, and okay, they're very they're rooting for them, which is fine, of course. Yeah, that's normal. And then it's better to please them. Yeah, that's what basically vast majority of people who are commenting on this match and in general, they're counting on. They don't care, I mean, unfortunately, about they don't care much about the real truth. Yeah, I mean, it's all they want is that they don't tell something after which they would be criticized. Yeah, I mean, I just that's why what I do is very much against the common trend. Because in nowadays world in general, and chess world in particular, there is so much lies, I mean, frankly, yeah, and that there must be, I believe, someone who just tells you the truth, like it or not. I mean, truth is always more bitter than sweet lies, always. Yeah, and if I mean, so okay, if you don't want to listen to it, if you prefer sweet lies, and majority of people historically, we know, prefer actually lies to truth, and that is why our world, that is why we are getting crooked permanently by politicians and many other people, because people want lies, and of course delivered. I mean, the lies delivered for them, the lies they want. So, but okay, I believe still in truth, in the power of truth, and I believe there are still enough people who just want to know what is in reality happening. And here in this particular field, in chess, I am qualified enough to, I mean, with quite a considerable certainty, to give my opinion about it. So that is why I believe it's very important, especially in times of in times of sweet lies, to that somebody is just telling the truth. So okay, you can, and I see how actually I'm like an enemy of the chess world, because they don't like it. I mean, you think they don't know the truth? They don't know that the yesterday's game was a very low quality game, even though yeah, it was entertaining, but it was not the quality of the world championship. Of course they know. Everybody knows. It's just that they don't tell it, and they don't, they're very unhappy when somebody is telling it openly. Yeah. But again, of course, it has nothing to do with anything personal. I myself played enough of bad games during world championships, and not only. But I would be personally very unhappy if somebody would call it a good game, if I know it was a bad game. I mean, there is nothing wrong in playing a bad game. Well, there is a bit of something wrong in playing all the time very average level games in World Championship, but again, it's not the fault of the players. It's, I don't know. It's another subject. But okay, so far, what I can tell you that the match is not of a high quality, even though, again, players are trying their best, but probably they are not. I mean, not on the list kind of highest standard of World Championship. For different reasons, probably Gukesh because he's just too young for the moment, and Dink because he's experiencing, I mean, we all know some problems he's experiences, but the level is not the World Championship, the real World Championship level, which is again, okay, it's not a reproach, it's just the truth. So choose what you want. You want me to to fool you and tell you what you would like to hear, the Dink for those who are rooting for Dink, okay, he's in fantastic, he's fighting crazily, he's playing fantastic chess, and Gukesh, of course, also, because there is a big army of people who are rooting for Gukesh, he's also playing amazing chess, and everybody is happy, but this is just lie. Yeah, so choose what you prefer. Okay, that was a small introduction. Now let's go to the game. I mean, even before checking it with Engine, which I did actually yesterday night, it was obvious there were a lot of mistakes. But it actually, once checking it with a powerful engine, and I checked it with a very powerful, not this one, but much more powerful engine. I'm just showing you here because it's more. Yeah, it's easier. But there were even more mistakes than I thought. In fact, it's like almost every second move was a mistake. And I mean, okay, it's like a little too much. So let's go through. Let's now check the game. Because I like to, when I do things, I like to prove it with arguments. I mean, just not telling you just general nonsense, but I will argument you why. Okay, rook e1 is a novelty, very interesting one, playable, yeah, so dc4 was played, e4, bishop g4. I will not comment on this because, okay, now of course b5 was a better move, h3, let's say bishop c8 with a very complicated, unclear position, which is also what the main engine is telling, but In any case, c5 is not a good move, obviously, but probably that I wouldn't criticize, because I understand that Ding, he understood that the opponent prepared already, I mean, for b5, obviously, and he wanted probably to play something maybe a bit dubious, but at least a little bit, something which maybe his opponent didn't check so carefully. So that I wouldn't criticize, even though, of course, it's not a good move, because after d5 white is somewhat better, but it's not too bad also. e6, now of course knight takes c4 was very critical move. Actually, I was thinking about it without engine. I mean, ed, queen d5 is almost only reasonable response, and then take knight g5. Very direct line. Now knight b4 is necessary, but this looks not so clear. I mean, I guess the team of Gukesh, they studied it, and knight c2 here, computer says that it's holdable, but also I was thinking during the game knight c6 about this move. It doesn't look so clear. Knight gets to d4, some counterplay, whatever. So h3 was played, but after h3 the advantage is anyway not so big. But this is all preparation. Knight bd7, I mean for Gukesh. Now knight takes c4. I thought maybe a4 was an interesting way just to stop b5, but then you need to calculate some knight b6, very sharp, I mean very calculative stuff. And in any case, probably it was still in his preparation, Gukesh. So knight takes c4, b5 is like obvious, yeah. I mean, you need to kick this knight from c4. Now knight, doesn't have really a good square. I mean, knight a3 is not something you like to do, but there is no good square. So knight a3 is like force, queen b6, bishop f4, what else? Yeah, it's very logical. I mean, of course, you put bishop on f4 here. So I mean, okay, again, it's not a reproach, but I don't quite understand all these commentators who was telling how strong was Gukesh playing. I mean, so far, no, I mean, again, don't take me wrong, but so far there is no reason. It was preparation. Now he played like two most logical, obvious moves. Okay, nothing really so far, yeah. So he didn't have a chance so far to show his good play, yeah, simply. And Ding, okay, he to spend a lot of time, played a dubious move c5. Cannot again criticize it, but still it's objectively not good, not so great. And otherwise he played very logical moves. So okay, that's the pin. Now I think Ding starts to go like totally wrong. I mean, again, it's not about severeness of the mistake, yeah. I mean, of course it doesn't. That's why the objective like 94 was the quality of game, or 94 something, but it's not about that. It's not that, okay, you don't blunder pieces usually in the World Championship match, but to my understanding, you're supposed to play like more kind of logical chess. I mean, like better quality, which is like every move a little bit better, yes, than it was played. Because now, again, even without engine, it's pretty obvious that black's very typical in this position. So d6 pawn is not really moving that far for the moment. It is definitely an asset for in long term. But knight on a3 is not so great. So of course, if white develops, manage his pieces in the center, he will be better. So black has to hurry kind of. And the most like common way, the first thing what a top player would do is trying to get his knight to d3. So c4, knight c5, knight d3. That is like obviously the main plan in this position. So that's why, and I was thinking, okay, maybe it doesn't work somehow. No, it perfectly works. There is absolutely no problem. And to me, it's like obvious, rook a8, just to not to lose tempo after d6, yeah. And then next, queen d2, what else, and c4, and then knight c5 comes with very unclear play. Actually, black is quite okay here. Yeah, it's about equal, I mean, finally position. Which probably means that maybe h3 was not, yeah, or a4 maybe was more interesting than knight takes e4, but okay, it's another story. But I mean, like, it's you don't play it only if there is a refutation, like something clearly wrong with it. Otherwise, how, I mean, instead of trying to get knight to f8, you put it on c5 trying to get to d3. It's like standard. I mean, it's not even something difficult. It's complete standard in this position. So to me, okay, this, yeah, d6, for example, knight c5, and now computer's playing rook e7, bishop e3, but very unclear position, and okay, black is at least becomes active. Yeah, it's a bit tricky, let's say after bishop e3, knight fd7, but at least black gets counterplay. I mean, he's not passive here, and he can, under some circumstances, he can even, you know, you can even get better, you know, if white is not accurate. So it's like logic. I cannot understand why it was not played, even though rook f8 is not a big mistake, but it's already like step in the not correct direction, yeah, because you need c4, knight c5 here. Okay, queen d2, what else? Rook a d8, knight c2, again, what else? Yeah, you're just making, so I mean, again, when Anish was writing me on Twitter, well, that you have to admit, kind of, yes, that white played really well up to a moment. I think we were discussing after bishop d4 move or something. I mean, what? White made the theoretical move and then almost logical things. I mean, like, what is good here? Any 2600 player would play it. No, I mean, again, it's not a reproach, but it's just objective truth. Yeah, so why to praise someone when there is nothing to praise for the moment at least? So yeah, now what happened? Knight f8 move. It's like I just cannot get. I mean, it is. Well, I mean, this is kind of move which is, in general, it is wrong in this position. Knight is very bad on f8. So you do it only because of two reasons. There is some very concrete justification of it, or the situation is really not good. I mean, you are really like, well, you're suffering here. It's like out of necessity you play this move, but there was none of it here. I mean, the most kind of logical thing to do is like, again, it's automatic. You take on e1, rook e1, knight e8. Of course, knight gets to d6. It's not because computer is showing it, but it's just like common sense. You attack the pawn and then you try to blockade also open up the bishop, blockade this pawn on d5. Maybe other knight again will go to d3 or to f6. It's so like natural that, I mean, definitely the first thing you would normally, a strong player would like consider, and only would not play it if there is a concrete refutation. There is not even close of any concrete refutation. King g2, b3 are main moves, then you put knight on d6. Computer, again, a powerful engine says it's about equal, very, very small plus for white, but it's like standard. I mean, knight f8 is really wrong in this position. So that's why, I mean, I don't know what is happening with Ding. I don't know why they're making such pretty obvious mistakes. I mean, like, strategically, I would say, conceptually. When it gets to calculation, in general, they calculate well. But it's like, it's so simple. Yeah, you don't put knight on f8 in this position. So now talking about actually very strong play of white. White played before. It's a good move. Actually, computer prefers rook a d1 simply, and believes that it was a better choice, slightly better. I mean, the powerful engine. Because knight e6, bishop e3, there is nothing, knight e6. So, I mean, black really like spoiled the position a lot with a knight on f8. Knight would have been better on d7. You know, I would, maybe if I would have a choice, I would remove the knight on d7 instead of f8 and now think on the pie. I think knight f8 actually is not only, so to say, missing a move, it's also, you know, making the position worse. Knight is very bad on f8 here. I mean, the position is dynamic, you know, strategically white is better, so black has to be quick, black has to organize counterplay, but not with a knight on f8. So it's like, I mean, okay, so, but before is fine, it's not the best move, but it's fine. Now after c4, what else, yeah? Now actually bishop e3 is a wrong maneuver, is a considerable mistake, in fact. So again, actually it makes sense, bishop is very good on f4, why do you maneuver it to d4, because then it, first of all, pawn on d5 will be more under pressure, and also you cannot really push it to d6. So very good bishop on f4, white to maneuver it there. Also logically, I mean, computer is just taking here the most kind of logical, and knight, and I guess with a knight trying to get to d6 and rook e1. And white is like 0-5, it says for white, but this is like normal. In fact, yeah, he's always playing knight d7 as soon as possible, just getting the knight back to d7, which actually means how absurd, I'm sorry, was knight f8 move. that any time it just starts to play knight d7 back, but white is considerably better here with a lot of initiative. It's very simple logical play. I think bishop e3 is conceptually not right to put bishop on d4 here. Queen a6, it actually, queen b8, very simple move, was completely fine for black. Completely fine. Maybe the best for white is to play bishop e4 back and then to change the plan again. But now, let's say bishop d4, you just take knight d7, and again bishop on d4 is not correct. Bishop should be on f4. Actually, it's just equal. It's nothing for white. It's complicated position, already kind of double edge, but black is completely fine. So it's conceptually wrong idea to put bishop on d4, queen a6, bishop d4. Yeah, now, okay, rook e1 is well, actually, again, engine is again coming back to d7. I understand for Dink it was difficult to play it back. I mean, to admit it was absolutely, you know, wrong move, knight f8. But still, engine again is saying that it's about equal the position. I mean, black is fine, bishop on d4 is doing nothing. And again, coming back to the same plan, take knight e8. I mean, that's a plan in this position, yeah. So he took on e1, took on a2. Okay, first of all, Dink was already here. It's a move 22, like had 20 minutes left only or something. Well, if it would have been spent on great moves, on some difficult decisions, but actually, as you see, his play was, I mean, let's be frank again, I'm not trying to tell something wrong about, but it was just bad play. So far, the play was really not good of black and very slow. That is what I wrote in my Twitter, and okay, people start to complain, you know, I'm kind of, you know, trying to attack players. I'm just telling you what it is. I mean, sorry, if you are not ready to listen to truth, I mean, then go and listen to others who will tell you whatever you like to hear. But it is the truth. I mean, you see it, yeah. Rook a1, queen b3, actually another mistake, because it's not so easy, but actually c3 was almost the only chance in this position. It somehow barely works tactically, because if queen c3, bishop d5, knight takes d5, just tactically, bishop d5, bishop d4. Yeah, not that it's impossible to find, but it's difficult. And bishop c3 and queen c4, somehow black is holding. But this I understand, that's I cannot reproach, this is difficult. But after queen b3, rook a3, queen b1, king g2, okay, it's just actually just a bad position for black in general. It's not even like anything, computer gives like 1.3, 1.4 here, a real engine. And it's almost like black has no moves. I mean, knight on f8 is terrible, absolutely terrible. Again, computer believes the best move is coming back to d7 now with 1.3 or something. So rook d7 was played, second best move, but now it's kind of funny because here I was without engine. I mean, it's not, I'm not trying to pretend I'm genius or whatever. What I want to say is that it's obvious for a professional strong player. It is obvious that like anything is good for white here. It's like first 6 moves are more than +1 for white, like any move. Okay, I have a suggestion, bishop c3 without engine, which is very strong, if not some tactics, knight e6. And then it's still black is holding like move per move. Actually, it's very difficult still for black. Rook e1, knight d4, and long lines. I will not show you. Black is barely holding, but probably holding. So bishop c3 otherwise would be just a killer, but it's kind of tactically black manages. But in fact, black simply has no move here. So even moves like h4 is +1.5. Even h4 is very strong, because simply you want h5, I guess, or something. You just like making useful move. Black is paralyzed. Let's say strong. Even bishop e3 is strong here, also +1.5. I mean, like, it's just a bad position for black, and that is what I mean. That rook a5 is fine. It's also keeping maybe even the strongest move. But what I mean that, well, it just here it's very obvious. I mean, for a player that. It's a bad position for black, so I would try to find something solid, you know, just especially since black is low on time. Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably a considerable misjudgment from white is to try to go for something very direct. Even though, yeah, again, I cannot say that it was wrong, no, but I think if he would play move like h4, he would win the game for sure, because It's very difficult for black to play. Actually, the best move is h5 after h4. By far the best, actually, just because black is running out of moves. And now, again, you can have plenty of moves, including what he did, Gukesh, rook a5, including rook a6 is very strong already, with h4, h5. So, well, it's basically the position which you should win. I mean, normally having like 40 minutes against 20, I mean, it's almost in practical sense a winning position. Because also it's difficult to play with black. Okay, Gukesh played rook a5, that's okay, queen b3, okay, repeated, went here, queen b3 again, and now rook takes b5, queen d3, actually not the best move, there was some, I mean, weird way to keep it going at least. After queen d3, again, it's I think there is a conceptual like misjudgment of the position, sorry to tell harsh words, but in fact it's just winning for white, the position. It's just bishop e3. I mean, it's plus, I think after bishop e3 it gives 2.5 for white. It's completely winning. It's just strategically, you just go rook c5 next. I mean, everything starts to fall. Well, you don't need any, let's say if knight e8, you just take a knight e1 and you simply take the pawn on d3. Because again, you see, the knight is such a bad mistake. I mean, to put the knight here. Okay, one thing if it would have been somewhere on e5, okay, it would have been close to a draw, but it's such a bad knight that there is no chance. White takes on d3 and simply easily wins. So the best after bishop e3 is to exchange, and then knight e8. Again, the main problem is awful knight, and now like bishop e3, knight d6, I think rook a5, a pawn falls 2.5 for white, I think 2.7. It's just completely winning for white. You don't need any calculation, I mean anything. It's like, yeah, it's this is what, okay, bishop f4 is actually, queen f4 is also strong, also very strong, but I mean, like, why to do it? Because here there was some very weird strange move g5, which was actually objectively the best chance, even though still very difficult position for black. But queen c2 is human, takes, and now again a very big mistake, actually very big, again, like clearly misjudging the position, actually just keeping two bishops, going bishop g5. I mean, let's say c3, pawn is not going anywhere, rook c5, again, the main problem you already know of black's position, 2.5 for white. It's just winning. It's actually quite a simple win. Because white is dominating with two bishops, it doesn't need to hurry. I mean, it's like, isn't it like a bit too many mistakes? I mean, because this is just winning the game, and I'm sure there is, you know, practically no chance for black here. So you slowly, maybe, but surely press it home, this advantage here, because so queen f5 is a very big mistake. gf, still bishop g5 was the best, but then at least knight gets some square, because here it's actually getting very close to a draw, because black activates. Actually, it's conceptually the main problem of black's position was this knight. So now knight gets active for this one small pawn. I mean, black activates his pieces, and actually here, well, rook d4, knight c6 here, but this is difficult. You here to find rook d2, knight b4, d6. That is quite difficult. And after looks like king f6, it makes no sense. But now, very concretely, bishop e2, very computerish play, and actually it's difficult position still for black. But this I cannot reproach. This is very difficult to find. I mean, it doesn't look like this at all. So he played rook f4, Gukesh, and now knight e7. Actually, it's basically a draw now. I mean, of course, black still has to defend a bit, but it's like, you know, from plus 2.5, yeah, in few moves, well, white got into actually a drawing endgame. I mean, okay, a bit better, but it's very obvious that black becomes active and it's very difficult to win. King f6, rook d4, and now it's just insane. I mean, I understand there is time trouble, but like, you know, first thing, again, when I was watching it without engine, first thing, okay, your knight on e7 is bad, yeah? And knight c8, knight d6 is like, it's such an automatic way of playing. Okay, computer even tries to go the knight b6 and to take the pawn, but I would just go knight d6. I mean, put knight on d6, and bishop is bad, bishop is limited by his own pawns. Well, here or on the next move, it's like, especially in time trouble, you just do it like on autopilot. Yeah, knight, put knight on d6, computer just gives like 0-4 only for white. It's almost a draw. I mean, very, very big drawing chances. Or after h6, king f1, at least here, move 40. I mean, why king f5? I mean, how to change this h pawn is the main asset for white. Yeah, if he gets the h pawn, just maneuver your knight. It's like, you know, it's so standard, knight to d6. And again, it's like 0-3. In fact, with a powerful engine. And it's also quite, it's not like it's something very difficult to grasp. It's even visually, it's very clear that black has very, very serious drawing chances. So it's, again, it's not like he missed some concrete idea. It's just strategically like something which normally must be a complete like autopilot for any player. You remove your bad knight on e7 to fantastic position on d6, attacking pawn on b5, protecting pawn on f5. I mean, like, and also stopping d pawn from moving. It's like, I cannot explain how it was not played. So king e5 was played, rook h4, and now knight d5, rook h6. Of course, I mean, you exchange this d pawn, which is weak and blockaded, also limiting the bishop, to the very powerful h pawn, which is going to queen soon. I mean, it is, even with the time trouble, it's still like incredible kind of conceptual mistake for black. Now position becomes difficult. Knight c3 is probably another mistake, at least knight f6 or something, but it's probably objectively lost already. Knight c3, I suppose Ding simply missed rook c6. That's my feeling. And now knight e4, and now it's turn for Gukesh. Well, not that he did anything, to put it mildly, special in this game. I mean, his play was also not great, objectively, as you can see. Yeah, I mean, I'm proving it with line, with explaining you why. It's not because I want it to be like this. It is objectively the case. But now it is, well, a quite simple technical task here. Well, to start with, king e1 is, frankly, I wouldn't even cross my mind. I don't know why both players said, oh, king e1 was such a interesting move. I mean, to start with, yeah, this is just a technical win. Take on e4. I mean, it's a matter of technique. Check and g4. Yeah, king goes e6, g4. This is and actually it's not too difficult. Not even too difficult to understand that this is winning, because rook gets square on f5 and h pawn starts to go. I mean, king helps. Yeah, there is there are some minor chances for black. Maybe you can think during a game that maybe there is a chance. True, there is a small chance, but it's just winning. So it's like technical, very clean technical decision, just win a game like this. Yeah, but if not, but okay, just push the pawn h4. I mean, it's a like complete misjudgment of the position. I'm sorry, but it is true, yeah, because actually the rook endgame is winning simply for white. So why? Because I guess Gukesh just wanted to avoid exchange of knight for the bishop, but you have to not to avoid it, but other way around, you have to welcome it here. It is because of h pawn, very strong h pawn, which was given for free basically by the opponent. It's like h4 also. I mean, very normal move. It is just practically no chance for black. Rook d5. I mean, again, endgames are always lost. Rook endgames, rook d5, and now rook c7, king f6, and now let's say takes and rook b7 is the most accurate, and it's gone. It's just over because you cannot change a pawn. And then again, king comes, it's over simply. Again, you tell me, well, it's difficult. No, it's not difficult. It's the people are playing for world championship. You know, they're supposed to be two best players in the world. Or what? I mean, this is like a basic technique. Of course, again, you can make mistakes. I understand, but please don't tell me it was a great game. I mean, no, it was not, because these are not like, the position is not terribly complicated or non-standard. It's basically pretty standard situation for a play. So king e1 was an absolutely awful move. Yeah, I mean, now f6. I don't know why people were praising this f6 move. It does. I mean, it's rook d5 is also possible. f6 doesn't save anything. I mean, because again now First of all, you can take and yeah, but now king is so bad because if you take here and check, trying to get to the same position, the problem is that if you want to secure this, then h pawn starts to, to be weak, yeah. Because with king on f1, you would just go king g2 and win this position. So king e1 was pretty bad in many senses, but now. Okay, after f6, well, maybe rook d5 was also possible. I mean, I don't see what is so incredible about f6 move. I mean, okay, I'm ready to praise players when they really play fantastic move, but what? I mean, f6 and f6, I mean, just a move. Here again, rook c8 or rook a6, both moves plus more than +2 for white. I mean, frankly, actually, that's why rook d5 was pretty much better than f6, at least leaving some chances. No, here it's 1.5 or 1.7, so technically winning, but of course king e1 move spoiled a lot. Actually, rook a6, it's becoming a bit more difficult to win, but still it must be winning. h4, just blundering rook d3, I suppose. Now it is becoming, yeah, it's actually already difficult to win. Black became active, yeah. It's becoming much more difficult, but bishop d1 is like, okay, it's just, actually after f4, engine now says it's equal. It's not even 0-0. It's not like in 3 first lines. It's just nothing for white. It's a draw, obvious draw. I mean, I don't know, at least take on f4, something, but bishop d1, what is missed? Of course f4. f4 takes, but it's still like, okay, what black played normal moves, bishop c2, rook d5, still I didn't like how Dink treated the position, f5, rook b4, it is just equal, like first here, 5 top moves are 0-0. He played king f3, which I don't like at all. I mean, it's forcing things. Rook c5 is a draw, king e5, any move is just a complete draw. It's not even better for white. Okay, king f3 still holds a draw, but why to cut your king? Because I'm pretty sure Dink just missed rook b3 move. And now he has to start to make only, because now king is cut. Why do you cut the king? And now you start to make, rook e5 is absolutely only move now to save the game. There was no need, I mean, to cut your king, because if bishop f3 check, king g1, cutting the king, I mean, it's like, no, I think bishop f3, what was after bishop f3 check? No, king h3, I mean, h5, king h4, if bishop e4 check, king h4, and in time to save it, but I mean, why, if, I'm absolutely sure just rook b3 was blundered, because here, like any move, rook c5, king e5, rook d7, any move is okay, it's just a complete draw. So again, very shaky decision, king f3, but fortunately for Dink it works. Here f4, rook e7, rook e3 would have been terribly dangerous, but he's just in time to take the pawn, and finally just in time to make a draw with this very bad cut king on g2, but fortunately for him, he is managing. So again, what is this game? You tell me it is, I mean, Magnus is praising how good fight was the best game, entertainment. I mean, entertainment, yes, but of course, when both players are making so many mistakes, the game would be entertaining, definitely. But I mean, like, okay, what are you searching for? I mean, again, what I'm searching for is quality, because it is World Championship. Yeah, I want this to be okay, and if they cannot provide players, I'm not reproaching them, but at least I will not tell you, because I played myself World Championship, I know what is good game, bad game in World Championships, and I will not tell you that the 10th game of our match with Kasparov, where Kasparov lost in 25 moves, was blundering, like made several blunders, was a good game. No, it was not a good game, it was nothing. I mean, I'm not proud of this game because my opponent played so bad, blundered so, okay, and for him it was a really bad game. And okay, I also played a couple of really bad games, but I'm ashamed of it. Yeah, more ashamed than you know, if somebody would tell that, yeah, this game or that game was bad, I would tell, of course it was bad. Yeah, of course. And if other way around, they say, no, it was a great, you tried, you really tried, but it didn't work. Actually, I would feel insulted. Like, okay, you believe this is like, for me, a good game. I mean, it's like you have very low opinion of me as a chess player. If so, it's like I feel even insulting to tell frankly that players played well here and so on, because well, then it means you're. I can assure you, if Magnus himself, for example, would have played such a game with A the color, he would be extremely unsatisfied. He would say, okay, I really played bad, this is something really wrong. But then when talking about others, you tell, no, no, I mean, if you are talking this particular case about Magnus, you tell, no, no, it's a good fight, great game, but it's like a little bit humiliating even. I mean, to my understanding for players, it's like, okay, yeah, in general, of course, it's not a good game, but okay, for you, it's in a way, yeah, for you, it's okay, yeah. No, no, sorry, it's just not true. It is simply not true. It's up to you to decide now. But again, I'm tired of these lies, of this actually senseless lies, because just to please public, to please fans, you are actually, I mean, many commentators who are trying to be nice and so on, but they're actually deceiving the reality. Yeah, it's not true, and I believe that truth is actually more important than anything else. Yeah, so that's why, yeah, I'm a bit tired of this fake correctness, polite correctness. Yeah, and I can tell you, if once they will play a very good game of chess, I will be first one who tell, yeah, that was a fantastic, great game, congratulations. But I will, that's simply it. And okay, then it's up to you to decide what do you want to listen to sweet lies, where you'll just be fed with something which is actually not true, or you really want to know what happened. I mean, objectively, it's up to you to decide. It's up to you to choose whom to listen to, and it's finally your choice. But I just I just explain you why I'm telling what I'm telling, and yeah, that's it. Because I got some attacks also from officials, from FIDE, from Emil Sutovsky, who was clearly attacking me, saying that well, you see, Magnus told that it was a good game, and some less great players are like telling something negative. Yeah, so this is just yeah, I mean, to start with, it's not up to Emil Sutovsky to judge, to start with, yeah. And secondly, if Magnus is telling something, he might be wrong. I mean, it might simply be he didn't really study the game seriously before making a recap. It might be that he just wanted to, I mean, actually feeling that the opponents are not in good shape and so on, just to like not to tell exactly what he thinks. It might be anything, but don't try to blame me for telling the truth. This is something is really wrong with our world if telling the truth becomes something shameful. Okay, thank you.